That is Indiana Governor Mike Pence, now vice presidential pick, speaking exclusively with CBS 4 this afternoon. I want to take you and show you this sign because something pretty cool is happening with this. You see all of the delegates signing this before the end of the final night here. If you can give us a quick reaction on your thoughts on Governor Pence.
You should be very proud of your governor tonight.
For a lot of them, their personal friend, Mike Pence, now the vice president-elect for a few more hours before he is officially the vice president. That is Indiana State Police and the Carroll County Sheriff confirming that the two bodies found in Carroll County are in fact those of 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German. The official roll call is still underway to nominate Hillary Clinton to the top of the ticket. Her husband, former President Bill Clinton, will take the stage later tonight. Is this a good time to remind everyone that I'm from Minnesota?
No.
That's what I thought. So that's one of those things. That's one of those things I should think and not say out loud.
Yeah.
What are the expectations going into tonight?
We're just having a good time.
Any new policy proposals we can expect in terms of Homeland Security? Should Wisconsinites believe any proposal right now coming from the administration?
Well, the truth of the matter is,
I'm going to head on back over to the desk where we're going to talk about implications. Suzette Hackney is an Indy Star columnist. She's going to join us now. And Suzette, as we look at that map and we look at the Bernie Sanders win tonight. Good evening from Midtown Manhattan, where this is essentially ground zero a bit for Governor Mike Pence and the announcement and the 24-hour whirlwind we have witnessed in Indiana politics. We're outside the hotel that Governor Pence is staying at this evening. If you recall, he was brought in through a back door last evening when all the speculation was still swirling, still even some questions about whether he was going to be the final pick. He was holed up in the hotel overnight until this morning, until we received that final tweet, the confirmation from Donald Trump saying Mike Pence will be his running mate. You see him leaving the hotel for the first time this afternoon alongside First Lady Karen Pence. They emerged after mornings of meetings inside the hotel with top Trump advisors. He then got in the caravan after talking with reporters briefly, headed over to Trump Tower for a meeting ahead of tomorrow's announcement. On his way back, we caught up with him exclusively one-on-one here on CBS 4. Here's what he told us this afternoon.
Our state.
That is Indiana Governor Mike Pence, now vice presidential pick, speaking exclusively with CBS 4 this afternoon after returning from Trump Tower, a meeting there with Donald Trump ahead of the official news conference, their first joint appearance together tomorrow at 11 o'clock here in New York City. Obviously back home in Indiana, the moment that announcement was tweeted, the moment Governor Pence, his lawyers filed the paperwork saying that he was no longer running for Indiana governor, it set off a whole flurry of activity inside the State House. Our own CBS 4's James Girardi is live at the State House tonight. He was inside the Secretary of State's office all afternoon in what can only be described as a whirlwind this evening. And James, the big question this evening, who now wants to be Indiana's next governor on the Republican side of the ticket? There are factions of different speeches going on, and here he comes, Senator Tim Kaine on the stage, officially about to accept the nomination for vice president. That voted by acclamation just a few hours ago this afternoon as he approaches the stage to officially introduce himself, so to speak, to the country. A lot of folks across the country don't know him. Let's listen in as he prepares to enter the stage. You see Joe Biden up in the stands. We have seen Bill Clinton here, Bernie Sanders in the stands as he is waving at the crowd and audience. This really, as we saw with the governor last week, his first introduction, not only to tout the candidate, but also himself, his credentials, his agenda, and also a personal story about who exactly he is as a candidate and what he will do to the Hillary Clinton campaign. What's really going to be interesting, we saw this last week with Governor Pence, is what role he's going to play. Let's listen in. Senator Tim Kaine officially accepting the Democratic nomination for vice president. Good afternoon. We interrupt programming for breaking news out of the Fox 59 and CBS 4 newsroom. Authorities about to release the identities of two bodies found near where the two missing Carroll County girls, 13-year-olds Abigail Williams and Liberty German, were last seen. Let's listen in as police give their update.
Jay Williams.
That is Indiana State Police and the Carroll County Sheriff confirming that the two bodies found in Carroll County are in fact those of 13-year-old Abigail Williams Jones and 14-year-old Liberty German. Investigators classifying this at this hour as a double homicide investigation. No persons of interest have been named in this investigation. When asked if the community should be on high alert, whether there may be a killer out there targeting young children, police saying no, this is a safe community, but quickly adding that parents tonight need to be on alert and watchful. They are asking anyone with information about the girls who were in the area that day to immediately call investigators, the sheriff office line at 765-564-2413. Much more tonight on the news and online. Peyton Manning didn't just perform on the field, he was also a big entertainer during all the commercial breaks.
Yeah, from laser.
Warning: if you are eating dinner, pause. If there is a fly on your fork, experts tonight saying drop that fork. This is what a new study is saying, and here's why you should stop eating. That study saying houseflies are twice as filthy as cockroaches. Researchers say flies pose health threats, transmitting dangerous diseases and bacteria, carrying communicable diseases by collecting bacteria on their legs and mouths from feces, garbage, and animal carcasses. See, I told you. It only takes a matter of seconds, this study says, for them to transfer that bacteria back onto your food.
Yeah.
Delicious.
That's why you
just in
get
time
rid
for
of them.
dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, boy. Yeah.
Well, it's January. That's a good thing for those flies, right? Yeah. But there's also growing attention tonight focused on Indiana's Senate race in 2018. To the breaking news we're following tonight, Governor Mike Pence starting to respond to the news that the Archdiocese of Indianapolis went against his order and welcomed a Syrian refugee family that arrived in Indianapolis last night. Let's listen in live to Governor Mike Pence. You are listening live to Governor Mike Pence responding to the news this evening that the Archdiocese of Indianapolis has brought a Syrian refugee family. They arrived in Indiana last night against his order. As you said, he will continue to suspend the program for as much as the governor has the authority to do that. In our conversations with the governor's office today, they really stressed this testimony yesterday from the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee on Capitol Hill, saying that ISIS has tried to infiltrate the Syrian refugee program. The governor's office, along with 30 other governors, has used that as some of their evidence and the reason behind this.
Yeah, I find it very interesting.
That shooting happened on the northeast side this afternoon, and it was all caught on camera by a witness. The situation ended with shots being fired and the man dying at the scene. We'd like to stress tonight, CBS 4 is choosing not to show the actual shooting. Alexis McAdams is here to begin our team coverage. Hi, Alexis. Tonight, the streets outside the church are clear. Just hours ago, they were filled with police and protesters. Take a look at this. Some neighbors even putting up police tape to keep people out. In the end tonight, no arrests, no marijuana, but right now, church leaders are inside the First Church of Cannabis, preparing to light up a legal battle of their own in the courtroom to be able to smoke. Their defense, they say, their religious freedom. On the first day of Indiana's religious freedom law, the First Church of Cannabis gathered a new group of faithful.
If you're happy, you know it, clap your hands, y'all.
Yet the church's holy sacrament was missing indeed, but not in word.
He had 3 words, I just got 2. Legalize it!
Church founder and self-proclaimed Grand Poobah and Minister of Love, Bill Levin, decided earlier this week marijuana would not be welcome today after intense pressure from police and prosecutors threatening arrests if anyone lit up.
Now the government needs to help me because I want to live.
Yet the announcement didn't stop the spectacle, once again bringing worldwide attention to Indiana.
On this side, they have if you encounter a police employee.
The group Cop Block handed out flyers outside the church encouraging everyone to videotape any encounters with police. IMPD had officers lined for blocks. Neighbors barricaded their yards from churchgoers, and protesters assembled their own gathering.
We're taking a stand against individuals and churches that would want to commit a crime under the disguise of a name of a church.
Fueling a religious freedom debate of its own.
Sorry, I give up body parts for your freedoms too. So you should respect me a little bit, son.
In 1 week, this group will gather again.
It's the first church service I've actually enjoyed.
As the church's founder now prepares a religious freedom defense for the courts.
This is about the beautiful experience of life's great adventure. Cannabis helps us celebrate it, but if the world is going to turn ugly on us and stop us through religious persecution, we'll go through the courts and we'll make it work.
Tonight, Levin wouldn't say either way specifically whether members will smoke at next week's service, hinting at that civil lawsuit using the religious freedom law. By the way, Governor Pence was asked about this church, about this service today. He did not answer, deflected his answer and the question, as this is the most likely the first public case of the measure he signed into law. What a night it has been so far here in Iowa. Ted Cruz telling the Associated Press within the last couple of minutes he calls this a victory for the grassroots effort. Donald Trump tonight telling supporters he is honored to come in second place. We've been talking for a long time about this turnout factor, and that's what we're seeing at play at this hour. A lot of the folks who came to the caucuses we talked to didn't know for sure who they were going to vote for going into this process. They had heard the candidates, met a lot of them for months, weeks, talking with them. They wanted to hear that final pitch, hear from their fellow Iowans before they cast their votes. Let's take you inside. Take a look.
Would you like a clapper to make some noise inside?
From schools to churches and community centers, Iowans gathered by the hundreds Monday night to finally have their say.
I'm caucusing for Hillary.
Last name A through J.
Republicans and Democrats gathering playing by much different rules. The candidates now sidelined in the hands of Iowans.
Step by step and work hard and study.
On the GOP side, supporters make one final plea. They cast paper ballots and they're counted and organized by hand.
The results are Rand Paul and Marco Rubio with 12.
He is somebody that I feel like is going to bring new ideas.
Meantime, Democrats engage in a sometimes more lively and contentious process.
She's gonna work hard. She's worked hard all her life. She's the revolution.
Splitting into groups, then they strongly urge and try convincing other Democrats to join their side, which did happen here tonight.
She never even had an idea that they cared about these things.
Let's have a system that works for everyone and not just the top 1%.
There's a lot of passion, a lot of energy.
Somebody voted for Bernie Sanders because she got a cookie.
In the end, Iowans simply go home, but not before leaving their mark and pride on a status as the nation's first.
I think it's an excellent opportunity to go out and show what Iowa's all about and show that we care who leads our nation.
Lots of excitement this evening here in Des Moines. Let's get back to those latest results we're following. Ted Cruz winning on the GOP side of things. Donald Trump coming in second. The Democratic race at this hour too close to call between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Martin O'Malley has dropped out of the race tonight. So too has Governor Mike Huckabee. On the Republican side of things, a lot of fast-moving pieces as we sit here tonight at 11 guys. Indiana front and center for this nomination. The delegates witnessing history, they say, part of history, and Indiana's lieutenant governor taking center stage tonight to begin it all. Take a look. A momentary glimpse from Governor Mike Pence tonight, just minutes after Republican delegates nominated him to be the party's ticket as vice president.
I nominate the great governor of Indiana, Mike Pence, as the Republican Party's 2016 candidate for vice president of the United States of America.
Lieutenant Governor Eric Holcomb before a national stage tonight.
From the state of Indiana, be nominated by acclamation.
The nomination seconded by Senator Dan Coates.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye!
Quickly tonight, the nation's Republican delegates backed a governor who's put his faith in Donald Trump.
Aye! 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 Aye!
I think we now have a strong ticket to take into November. A great combination.
Trump's son, Donald Jr., with high praise for the governor tonight. Don, we're from Indianapolis. Can you talk about Governor Pence?
Great guy.
And perhaps a bit of foreshadowing about how Governor Pence will be used as a party candidate, whether unity will be its centerpiece. Has the governor done enough to unite the party, or does more need to be done in the coming days here?
Look around you. I mean, I am getting so many positive, invigorated comments from people all over the country that are flat out excited about our prospects.
Bob, the lieutenant governor, telling me this evening he just had several hours to prepare for this speech to nominate the governor in front of all of the Republican delegates, a national audience not only for Indiana but for him this evening as well.